Good afternoon, everyone. Round 2 of the 2025 Guinness Women's Six Nations, straining at the leash. And what a match we have in prospect here at the Stade Marcel des Flandres in La Rochelle. 2 of round 1's victors in France and Scotland, but both talking about lost opportunities and room to improve on their performances from a week ago. This, the first of our 3 fixtures this weekend. Following this match, over 20,000 expected in Cardiff's Principality Stadium as Sean Lynn's Wales face a much-changed England team. While tomorrow in Parma, Italy play the first of their 3 home games in this year's championship, with Ireland the visitors to the Stadio Sergio Lanfranchi. Well, this is how the table is looking after last week. England top of the pile with that 33 points difference, but France and Scotland both with those victories and going against each other this afternoon. It's been a lovely sunny morning, low teens centigrade, a light breeze, ideal springtime conditions. Whose idea was it to move the Women's Six Nations after the men? Absolutely superb. Well, having plugged in all of the data that we possibly can, our win predictor is heavily in favour of the home side. France by 91%. Well, let's welcome Rugby World Cup winner Kat Merchant. And Kat, are you in agreement with our win predictor?
I think stats only tell you part of the stories, and I think today stats can go completely out the window. I'm telling you, the vibe is there from the Scotland players. They are confident. There's a lot of chat that this could be the opportune moment. There's French key players that are missing, so they're a little bit off their full strength side. So yeah, I think throw the stats out. We're going to have a big game today.
Here they come then. France, winners in Belfast last week by 27 points to 15. They last played here against Scotland in 2017, winning 55-0. That scoreline was repeated in Vannes 2 years ago. How France had loved that sort of result today, but having been on the receiving end of that thumping, well, it really proved to be a reset moment for Brian Eason's Scotland side. Rachel Malcolm and the leadership group taking time out to reassess, refocus, demand that days like that never happen again. They come here off the back of a confidence-building win against Wales. Now, it is with great sadness that the French Rugby Federation wished to pay tribute and respect to the life of Nicolas Haddad, a young man who sadly lost his life playing the sport he loves earlier this month. The League and Federation and all of us send our condolences to Nicolas's family, and a moment of respect will be marked now with a minute's applause.
La Ligue Sud et la Ligue Corse s'associent à la douleur de la famille de Nicolas, de ses proches, de ses coéquipiers et de l'ensemble de son club. En son hommage, nous vous remercions de respecter un moment d'applaudissement. Merci à toutes et à tous. Je vous remercie maintenant de vous lever.
So in a moment, La Marseillaise, but first to kick off the anthems, it is Flower of Scotland.
For the national anthems. We start with the national anthem of Scotland. Et maintenant, en l'honneur de l'équipe de France, la Marseillaise.
Let's have a look at the France lineup then. As much for its absentees as those selected. No Agasso side tackle machine, Madusu, Fall, Raclo. Vernier suspended, Condé injured, so step up Montserrat Amédée for a first cap in 7 years. Winger Kelly Abes' last cap was this fixture a year ago at Hive Stadium. The French League's top point scorer Morgan Bourgeois continuing at fullback. For Scotland, well, Brian Eason has the luxury of a little more consistency, albeit one suspension of his own to contend with. Evie Gallagher's one-match ban sees Jade Conkle step into the 8 jersey alongside captain Malcolm and Montpellier's Rachel McLachlan. The back line, well, it's unchanged from their win against Wales last week, with Thompson and Orr, well, the far more settled pair of those two midfields today. This their 16th start together in 3 years. The back three with 58 tries among them for Scotland. But how they'd love a few more this afternoon. And as for the story of the replacements benches, well, 2 6-2 splits, 12 forwards to introduce. And for Scotland, 2 debutants in Molly Pullman and Loughborough Lightning's Becky Boyd. Well, it might not be a huge number of changes for this French side, but those key ones missing, Agasso Shat, Gabby Vernier, players in the spine of the team. No Roman Ménager, she was out for 4 months with a concussion and is now getting back to full fitness by playing in the Hong Kong 7. What of Scotland? 13 wins in 17 tests since that loss to France 2 years ago by 55 points to 0. They viewed that as such a turning point, bearing in mind that before that it was 13 wins in 52 tests. Lauren Jenner is our referee, and great to have Lauren Jenner back out in the middle for a 12th test match, 60 months on following the birth of son Cooper. She'll be assisted by Kat Roach of the USA and Emilia Luciano. TMO is Quinton Immelman. Well, the ticket window's closed half an hour ago. 15,000 fans packed in. Will France march on in Rugby World Cup year to a second victory in the championship? Or can Scotland grab a first win against them in 15 years? Carla Abes sends it into the sunny La Rochelle skies. And the first effort forwards is going to be from the skipper Rachel Malcolm as Leah Brebner-Holden sends them away. Then it's Lana Skeldon, Bristol Bears hooker, who was largely injured for the second half of that season. French duty. It's gone over the head of Tiani Feliu, looking for the little midfield dink, but Sarah Bonner was alert to it. France looking to try and come flying through that breakdown on Scottish possession, though, to disrupt, and they might just be managing to do so. Where's the ball? It's going to be a Scotland penalty because France going off their feet to secure.
Oh, what a start from both sides. Real intensity. And one thing we are not going to be shy of today is the big hits. They've got some big hitters in the forwards and both backs, but I'm really looking forward to see what those backlines can do, especially the Scotland backline. When I saw the team sheet come out, how exciting did that look?
Well, early worry here seeing Holly Cunningham down. Just a first cap last week. Another one of the Bristol Bears, qualifying through a Scottish-born grandmother. There was a lot of force coming through in that breakdown as Scotland tried to secure.
Well, Bonner does really well to get back on that short little kick over the top. Thought there was some space in there, but wasn't. And then that breakdown just gets really, really messy. And then referee in the end deeming that it was France off feet, which meant that it prevented that ball from coming out. So after this little break here, Scotland will have the penalty and get it.
Scotland physios keen to check that things are bending in the right direction. Scotland's bench, likes of Ellis Martin, Leah Bartlett, Molly Pullman, Adele Ferry will be the option perhaps in the second row. They do have Becky Boyd as well, looking to make a debut for Scotland. Boyd confirmed by Brian Eason this week as second row, back row, but Holly Cunningham looks like she's struggling to get full weight through this comfortably. Wonder whether they'll give it a minute or two, but concerning first moment. She's getting a hug from Rachel Malcolm. I think it's the end of the afternoon for Holly Cunningham, and dear oh dear, it's unfortunate to see.
Yeah, nobody wants to see injuries, and especially this early into the game. And I think as much as she's gutted about maybe the pain, it's probably even more gutting the opportunity that she's missing out on getting to play, because it's not often you get to play in La Rochelle in front of 15,000 people in a packed out stadium, so heart goes out to her.
Second most tackles against Wales, with putting herself about last week, Holly Cunningham, and just the cruel nature of injury in the first minute of the game. But what a moment for Adele Ferry, able to now step up after that debut last week, hailing from Dumfries and Galloway. Qualifiers who, well, she played for Edinburgh in the inaugural Celtic Challenge.
There's a second ball.
Two balls on the field momentarily. Brebna Holden. Nelson had a really bright game last week. That was a nice little smuggle of the ball away for Jade Conkle. Skeldon dummies it inside. That looked slightly high for a moment from Amadei. And Scotland going again. Rowley slightly driven back. The French fans will try and get behind their side as the defensive shift is employed. Nelson again into the middle. Oh, it was the offload, but perhaps it wasn't on that time. It couldn't be made the most of by Amadei.
Good advantage. Lock on only.
Just gone forwards off the French though. Bonner tipping it on for Ferry. Might have a few numbers on this side if they can make it work. They've gone for the big one over the top, and it is going to provide a little bit of room for Fran McGee. And that was a fairly obvious playing of the scrum half there, and Scotland will get the penalty, and it's good consistency of possession, putting pressure on the French defence.
Yeah, absolutely, and their ability to get that ball wide, because we've seen what Fran McGee can do. She's an absolute finisher. Great pace out there as well, so France will be worried and they'll be stretched defensively. There's actually even another penalty in here because they were offside off it, but here's that big long ball outside. I think McGee just pauses, comes back in. I think actually maybe she just goes for that on the outsides and trusts her pace.
It's one of those, isn't it? We've seen wingers understand the importance of cutting away from the touchline to keep the ball alive, but as a former Rugby World Cup winning winger, no surprise, Cat Merchant says, pin your ears back and have a go.
Back yourself, always back yourself.
France having to get themselves out of trouble. It's a decent nudge away from Scotland in the backfield. Chloe Rowley. Was that knocked forwards in the tackle? It was. Now can they find a bit of room to send Rona Lloyd away? Just got smothered in the tackle. Scotland on the halfway now. Nelson on for Conkle. Conkle ships it on for Malcolm, who was well met. Lost 7 metres in that spell of possession, but can they find a bit more on the outside. Oh, is right out in front of Sarah Bonner. Not quite the winger that Chloe Rowley might have been hoping for.
Yeah, looking up for that wing and yeah, seeing your second row out there. Not that Bonner is not fast. I've seen her play club rugby and make some incredible line breaks, but France offside. Oh, knock on. I thought they were offside.
Oh, we are
coming back for.
Yeah, we are going to come back for possibly one of the longer knock-on advantages that we've seen for a while, but certainly Scotland not able to make too much of it. So that was the knock-on in the tackle.
Just that in the tackle hit the hand there. But you've got to talk about the French chase as well off of that kick was really good. They had so many players up. So here's that long pass that Bonner can't quite in the 50 metres into the corner anyway if she does catch it, but certainly a strong runner.
I mean, make your mind up. Are we pinning our ears back or are we not? I mean,
yeah, wingers, McGee, pin your ears back. Bonner, have a go. Yeah.
Saw on that replay, I think Rachel Malcolm must have rubber legs. Looked like she was pulled over at quite the angle, but
yeah, you did wince there. I saw the wincing.
Takes her position. Charlotte Escudero opposite her. There is a bit of a wheel on that one.
Reset, girls. We're going sideways first. Both teams, okay? Okay.
Lauren Jenner.
We need a definite hook, okay?
New Zealand nationality allegiance, initially as a referee and now Italian. Mélissande Laurence Vignière.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Needs to get this away a little swifter, given that front shove. And Conkle will do the business, and Conkle will carry. She's done that all season for Harlequins in Premiership Women's Rugby. And it's Thompson. Oh, now the French are suggesting that that was out on the full, but the assistant has come over and taken the position. So,
yeah, I thought initially that looked like it was out on the full, but obviously from up here we're not going to see. But the scrum was going back, so Conkle does really well to fight her way out of that and to make ground. So here is that kick, so we can see where it goes. No touch to add that. That's in.
As close as it gets.
Girls, time off. The TMO has confirmed. It has been kicked directly into touch. It will be a line out back here, okay?
There we go. So the initial thoughts that we saw, we thought it was out there, but TMO has come in.
It is one of those back. It's one of those moments where you think the assistant referee has got a fairly primary job to do on the far side. Somehow managed to not quite nail that one. Oh, okay, that's close.
Yeah. I was like, that might be a little harsh, Nick. I think that was like blade of grass.
Volume goes. They Flandre. Montserrat Amédée in for Gabby Vernier. Was handed a 3-match ban for the collision last week. May get that reduced to 2. Taking part in the World Rugby Tackle School. Bourdon Sansus through Arbez. France wanting to try and find the wide channels as quick as they possibly can, and they will find the offload game as well. Brian Easton talking pre-game about the fact that if France start to get one offload, it's 2 and 3 and 4 in quick succession, and this is the home side. Bourdon Sansus being played at the back.
Yeah, France are so dangerous when they get their offloading game right. They're just so difficult to defend, and they just started to get into the swing of things there. And interestingly, they've opted to go for the 3. I guess first time properly in the Scotland half for a bit, so just want to come away with points. But that's credit to Scotland as well, because in previous years they go for the corner there, absolutely, or they maybe even think of a quick tap. But so here's that offload back inside from the floor, making sure there was hands in there as well to try and get the steal, but they just, France don't go down, they fight. And Bourdon Sansus at the back there just gets cleared illegally.
Gave it the full theatrics. Well, it's Bourgeois lining up the first kick of the match. Top point scorer in the Elite 1 by some distance.
20 seconds.
190 points over the course of the season so far. That includes 10 tries. Second placed Audrey Abadi of Blagnac just on 86. Bourgeois for the first points. The crowd love it, and the flags are raised. Well, certainly in this Rugby World Cup year, it's all about using the percentages and understanding through the top 2 inches how to control a test match. And France take a penalty from just outside the 22 and get themselves on the board.
I think it shows that they think this is going to be a close game, that's going to be a bit of a dogfight, because otherwise they try and go for 7 there and driven line out. But I think that's just credit where it's due to the Scotland team.
Oh, and that's a little bit overcooked from the restart. Not what Scotland would have wanted for the home side now.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you just got to get right, and you don't want to give those little things away, because you want to get all the possession that you can. So you either kick short to try and compete, or you do kick long to put pressure on to force France to kick it back. But yeah, out the back is not where you want them to go.
They had Rona Lloyd herring after it, but ball beat everybody to that dead ball line. So centre line scrum option. There was a little tap of the hands between Helen Nelson and Lisa Thompson.
France backline looking very flat on both sides. Normally you'd have someone a bit deeper in there and the fullback able to hit across either side, but they've got covered right the way across the pitch here, so an interesting format for them.
Yeah, and Bourgeois taking a position which might allow a kicking option on the left, but in fact she's going to head off to the right hand. Santos gets it on the wraparound, looks to try and get through the gap, and does find its way to Arbe through Bourgeois. Really beautifully worked by France. Staying on script despite the Scottish pressure. Tayani Feleau, younger sister in at number 8. And now a penalty advantage coming the way of the French. Foul Raclo. Picking and going again. Looking to try and make the meters, goes Mane Feleau. Scotland defence having to do the work round the corner here as Rose Bernardou, Montpellier, teammate of Rachel McLachlan. Tayani Feleau, Thompson in with the tackle. France go back the way they came. Arbe's looking to get under the posts. France have their first try. Relentless from Les Bleus in the Scottish 22.
They looked absolutely clinical there, right from that first Scotland mistake where they ended up getting the scrum in the centre. A lovely play out to the right, lovely wraparound play. Now, normally the France, when they get that close to the try line, they look for their big hitters, but this is that wraparound play. And Bourdon Saint-Sus gets a lovely offload away, and then quick hands out wide, cuts back in so they can recycle. And then just some great footwork there, a nice bit of a dummy and through the middle, because you would think normally they'd be hitting their big runners at that close, but just spotted the gap, did Arbe, and gets the score.
Bourgeois adds the extras. Well, in the blink of an eye, France up by 10 points to 0. Bourgeois, one of 5 Stade Bordelais players in the side. They are miles clear at the top of the elite, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good attacking flair to go through, but actually on that second replay, having a look at that, that's poor defence from Scotland. They're going to be really disappointed in that, because you can't have single runners, just bit of footwork and scoring. She should be double hit there.
Lisa Thompson needs to measure this one a little better. Oh, and that's just the sort of result that the Scots will have wanted.
Yeah, 1-1 in terms of key mistakes off of the kickoff on that one, so France be disappointed, but important for Scotland to capitalise on these opportunities now, because 10-0, 13 minutes in. They were very up for this game. You could see physically they've put in big hits, but they've got to come away with points from getting into the 22.
Voice of Rugby World Cup winner with England, Cat Merchant, who is alongside us here in La Rochelle. The Atlantic Ocean through the Bay of Biscay, lapping behind us in our commentary position. In from Brebner Holden. Conkle looking to pick down the short side. Can they make the numbers work? Conkle will just keep head down. Escudero with the solid tackle, but it's good meters from the Scotland back row. Eliane Clark was well met. Ball is loose. Scotland have to try and secure that possession a little quicker. Oh, it's penalty to France. Bourdon Sansus was in there, as was Manon Bigot.
Yeah, really quick reactions to get in and over. I think Scotland thought they were played illegally, but they weren't, so play carries on and they got themselves isolated.
Okay. I'll explain that. Thank you, Quinton. Rachel! There was no foul play, there was head contact, but she was an illegal tackle.
So there's the run from Jade Conkle.
Yeah, she's so strong off of that scrum. And then the contact in here, yeah, straight over that ball for a good steal.
Is it Eliane Clark getting a bit of attention? Certainly seemed to be a bit of a collision. No. Able to carry on. Scotland try and challenge at the line out. Amédée. Escudero round the corner. Timing of the pass was just about right. There go again. Marine Ménager is the dummy runner at close quarters. Then it's Bourgeois. Sense that not too much was on, so Chloe Rowley's going to skip back into the Scottish 22 to tidy this one up. Looks to the right peg. That's a decent enough clearance.
Yeah, I think they can be happy with that exit. I think Scotland might be on to try and go for that turnover. I think Escudero, they hit her up, but she was on her own. I think if they were a little bit quicker, they could have got over on that ball, could have got the jackal. So at international level, anytime a player goes in on their own, it's likely to be a turnover. So defence have to recognise that, get in quicker.
That one was deemed not straight. I wondered if the previous one might have been the call, and Lauren Jenner certainly had her eye on that one.
Number 3, you have to go for an HIA, okay?
Ah, so there we go. They do have the instrumented mouth guards, and everybody having a look at footage as well. And I think there was a tackle in the French 22 where Eliane Clark was just met. And safety first. She's going to be assessed for an HIA.
Yeah, player safety always paramount, so important they do that.
Well, it is going to be a perhaps slightly earlier than expected debut for Molly Pullman. Watsonians FC will no doubt be giving a big cheer in the clubhouse coming on. Of course, no Christine Belial this week, but Pullman is in. It's a lovely story about the fact that the family have almost made La Rochelle a second home. The amount they have come here on holidays, they've adopted La Rochelle as their French team. They've supported them in Champions Cup finals. So for Pullman to be playing at the home ground of her dream club, well, what a moment. France get the penalty. Scotland just unable to connect a positive action on top of another at the minute.
Yeah, they're just allowing themselves to get a little bit isolated so that France can get in and get their hands on the ball, which is putting a lot of pressure on there. So here's the carry, and you can see just how quickly the hands go onto that. I think she might have been beaten by the ruck there, actually, looking at it. So I think actually quite unlucky for Scotland. Almost
a knock-on in there, but referee a lot closer. Bigot. To the front they go. Madou Soufal-Raclo brings it down. Player of the championship nominee, 3 years ago. Madisou Fall-Raclot, married husband Vincent Raclot last year, former Sevens player. Bourdon-Sansus. Feliu bounding into Helen Nelson, but Nelson did well to stay in the fight. Bernadou was the dummy runner. Amédée hoping it might just open up. First appearance since a 14-0 loss to New Zealand in 2018, Amédée. Alain Libre gets a bit of volume. Skelton considers going in for it. Ilana Brosseau takes it up. France patient and will go through the phases as Fall-Raclot goes again. That time Skelton looking to ferret in and get hold of it. Nothing on the left for France here. Bourdon-Sansus is going to have to do a Dupont and try and create something from nothing. Opts to just get her head down. Now there's a little bit more width and it's a little bit loose from Ménager. And then she's thrown it either forwards or off the field. And that was good defensive pressure from Scotland.
Yeah, I think they had to do that as well because France had numbers, so it's high risk when you rush up on your own but force the error. So a big carry initially, some strong defence as well into there, but then it's the pressure off of it. And here you can see Spotted flying up on that outside because if that pass goes, they're in trouble there.
Scotland line. Bonner. Popped up for Jade Conkle. Nelson outside the 22, not much on. It was really good pace from Bourdon-Sansus. Brebner Holden. He nearly offered that again as a gift for Brosseau to get over, but oh, it's not a great pass either for Nelson. They're going to have to try and pull a rabbit from a hat here. France have given them a bit of a lifeline by being in an offside position.
Yeah, so Bourdon-Sansus deemed to be offside when she went for that charge down, because the one before was really good and ended up putting the pressure very much so on Nelson to the point where she didn't decide to kick. She thought it might get charged down. So Scotland a bit of breathing space in there now.
How different the game could be if Scotland can get themselves into a position to get a score after managing to survive defensive sessions like that. Just a couple of poor moments really in terms of the half-back relationship. Nelson. Malcolm, I should say, just had to reach high and grab that right at the edge of the fingertips. Did a great job to get it down, but then the handling error.
Yeah, from a Scotland perspective, you're just wanting them to build the phases so they can do something, whereas at the minute it's very stop-starty for them, not able to get into the flow of their game too much. This was a really nice carry from Conkle.
Yeah, she's made them 4th most carries across the PWR season, 2nd most in terms of gain line success. So such an asset to Scotland. In for Evie Gallagher. Also got the red card, got a 1-match ban for the shot on Kelsey Jones. Penalty advantage from scrum time being played towards the French here. Escudero smuggled it away. No advantage coming as McLaughlin managed to intervene.
That French scrum just looked so savage there, didn't it? Absolutely putting so much pressure onto that Scotland pack. Winning themselves the penalty, so staying really strong and square, and you can see just nothing stopping them there.
Arbez has not found touch. Really well adjudged by Helen Nelson. Just caught it on the way back in field, but now Arbez with another chance. But Rowley followed up well to make the tackle. Makumba was waiting just behind the scrum half, but it's Fowl who's wrestling through. Good work to hold on from Molly Pullman. Ferry nearly managing to get the rip. Brosseau or Comba. And then Feliu, got the offload away, but it goes forwards on its way there, and France perhaps a little over-hungry and over-expectant into the Scottish 22 that time.
over-hungry perhaps, but if that does go to hand, you have to wonder they're going to be right in behind there. So again, it's that risk reward, and when you're 10 points up, you can afford to do that. So great leg drive through, it just doesn't quite go. She deemed that forward because there's no knock on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the call.
Time's off, captain's down. Time's off.
Rachel Malcolm is just getting some attention.
As if they want to bring water on.
54th cap for the
Bring water on.
Scotland skipper. All but 2 of them have been starts for her country.
Cat, nearly anything?
15 years since Scotland last had the beating of the French.
Anything, Cat? Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Water off now. Water off now, guys.
It's fair to say that the
Please.
French crowd are enjoying themselves. On the right side of the scoreboard, 20 minutes on the clock, the sun shining in La Rochelle. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, agreed.
Time's on.
Gaël Hermé, former captain of this side, not part of the current squad.
Crouch. Bind.
Maybe that others are just outperforming Hermé these days. Perhaps a little more strength and power in the French back row is now doing the job that they see the end of Hermé's caps at the highest level.
Shot's called.
It's another penalty that goes the way of the French, and Rose Bernadou is getting a lot of the plaudits.
Yeah, second scrum penalty in a row for them, and now puts them in a position to build on their lead even further with another 3 points up for grabs, and it's just gone straight down there, collapsed.
It's actually gone down on this side, hasn't it? Brosseau, perhaps the one to deserve a little more, but it just presents another chance for Morgane Bourgeois. Earning a 10th cap. Just digs at the bottom of the ball, sends it on its way. France doing a decent job of just keeping that momentum on the scoreboard, ticking over. 24 minutes gone, 13 points to 0 now.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see now the importance of that earlier 3 points that they took, where perhaps we thought they might have gone for the corner, because actually they're just building their lead, getting themselves comfortable, because by building that lead, they can now play with that freedom and flair that we are used to seeing France do. They can get away with a few more risky offloads, because most of the time they do come off for them.
Thompson, straight down the middle. Bourgeois happy to hold that one away for Bourdon-Sans-Souci. It's an excellent kick, but just tracked enough from Thompson.
Keep coming, White, keep coming.
Bounced up perfectly for Bourgeois. Dummies right, takes it into contact. Scotland trying to get on that, and they will get the penalty. And look what it means to Rachel Malcolm.
Yeah.
Finally, we got one.
Yeah, I think she really leads by example as well, and she will know how important it is in the context of this game to not only just get in the French half, but have opportunities and to go to try and build on that score. So 4 penalties each conceded, so even at the minute in terms of the discipline.
Kick themselves to within 16 metres of the try line.
So here's the spot on the turnover, fantastic work. We mentioned it earlier, perhaps there were opportunities to do it, and absolutely nailed that one.
Oh, France have nicked the line out. Scotland can't afford to throw away these sorts of opportunities. So few have they been in that French 22. Bourdon-Sans-Souci, chance to play it away. Alain Bleu rings around again. Oh, if they could have spun it down the line, there might be room, and there might still be that opportunity. France coming up the middle. Bowl to the floor goes Tayani Feleau. Out the back then, and sent downfield from Arbez. Rowley comes across, well positioned. Goes for her own dig, wants to get through and try and take it herself, but was just stumbling through the gap. She's come up hard up the front now then. Rona Lloyd having to tidy up at the back, and Nelson, oh, that's a lovely bit of footwork from Helen Nelson just to send a couple of the defenders away. Scotland need to find themselves that structure once more, and Rachel McLachlan will drive it forwards. Thompson, two kicking options in that Scotland back line, the 10 and the 12. Arbez. Brebna Holden was trying her best to compete and rip the ball away before Arbez could get to ground. Bourgeois will then step in as France's other first receiver and is in position to do so again, but Feleau off to Bigot, and then again to Okamba, and Okamba nearly lost the ball but still managed to play, and here they play, the two sisters combining. Oh, but Tayani Feleau loses it in the 22. It was glorious from France on their way there up to that point. Skeldon, knock-on advantage Scotland will have. The referee will bring them back.
That's how France want to play, is how they play at their best. Those little offloads going through, and it worked. They did break through, and then it was just that little fumble from Feleau in the end there, in the contact, just spilling it out. The number 8, about 15 metres shy, but they're really looking to build. So there you go, you can see France having 7 offloads compared to Scotland's 2.
Okay, bring them on. So number 3 has passed the HIAs.
So here's that line out. They've got stolen, and then it's just France how they've played from deep into their 22, from inside their 22, and they play it out by running. They've got good footwork. The offloads aren't even pretty. They're one hand. They're not going straight to hand either. They're low. They're in behind, but it doesn't matter. They somehow manage to keep the ball alive, and then the footwork and skill level. And there it is, just as she hits the deck there, just spills out.
I think it's the fact that Manon Bigot held that first pass that allowed them to get on their way. That was stunning from the Blagnac hooker. Usually France's third choice, of course. We don't see a huge amount of Manon Bigot. Came off the bench last week, as she did in the loss to Canada in WXV1 in September, previous last appearance. But no, Agathe Socha. They are hoping, with a bit of a knee tweak, that Socha will be back by the end of the Guinness Women's Six Nations. And Scotland back up to their starting front row. Eliane Clark, having passed her HIA, is back with us. Third start in a row for Clark after Wales and Australia back in October. Key part of Bristol Bears' semi-final Premiership season. France get a shove on. Conkle, again, having to work hard to extricate herself from the back of that Scottish scrum as it was tiptoeing back towards her. Nelson had to position the ball and then send the right boot through it, which she managed to do. Bourgeois, 2 to her right.
That's inside the 50.
Kelly Albe has tried to get going. Nelson sent that downfield like a dead weight and is now giving chase. Helen Nelson doing her best to try and spare Scotland's blushes at moments, and then it's Thompson who will send it up, so Nelson will move into the backfield for the next kick that might go her way. And it's the French now with Bigot showing the full skill set and getting involved at scrum half. Jade Conkle with the big body check tackle, and it's Bourgeois from just inside the 22. It was passed back, really well taken from Nelson. And now Rowley. Is there a bit of broken field for Chloe Rowley to get the dancing shoes onto? Scotland might have numbers left if they've got the pace out there. That certainly was a little bit of room for them. And now can they send Rona Lloyd away? Lloyd, oh, she's thrown that back in field. Bourdon Sansus looking to make the most of it. It was all a little loose, but I think we're perfectly happy for everything to carry on. Escudero gets it up for Okamba. Sevens Olympian silver medalist from 2020, Okamba. Oh, now that's loose on the floor, and thought it might be backwards, but forwards is the call.
But the worrying thing there for Scotland was France had 2 players outside of that, so if France can get their away, yes, there was a fumble, but France are going to make a massive line break there. Scotland had really shortened up that defence, and there was acres of space out on that right-hand side for France.
McLachlan, as we mentioned, playing against a couple of teammates from Montpellier, where the Ménagers play, and Rose Bernardou, Otto Saratinesi of Italy is there now as well. But look at that, the French getting through 250 metres. You mentioned those line breaks, Kat. Well, 3 of them have gone the way of the home side.
Too much movement from both teams, okay? My calls will be slow to allow you to sit up. If you do stand up again, you could be liable for sanction, okay?
Well, apologies if you're just hearing a little bit of the late night G-up language. It's coming from the cultured Scottish pack.
Crouch!
Brebner Holden came through Hartpury College and University. Oh, and it's a free kick that goes the way of the Scots. Conkle continues to drive at that French line. Escudero could have been rewarded with a penalty there, but lost control of it. Oh, they have got in again. They are just proving to be so ruthless at ruck time. It's turnover after turnover for Les Bleus.
Yeah, they are ruthless in there, and they get in early, but Scotland could help themselves out. They cannot allow Conkle to get away on her own. They have to be with her quicker. They know she's going to tap that. They've got to get in. They got away with the first one, because actually you're right, that could have been there was a hand in there from Escudero that maybe could have been looked at for getting a penalty, but next one didn't get away with it. So they've got to be more clinical in those breakdown areas, because France are too good to allow them even a second, even a split second.
Bigot. Oh, that was not straight, but Scotland did not compete for that line out, so France are going to get away with that. Feleau into Skeldon. Skeldon was doing a good job of holding her up, but got a knee to the ground, had to release. Thompson putting in the defensive shots as well. France with a little ball back inside, trying to send Laurence Vignière away. Scottish halfway line. Mané, Feleau deputises at 9. Now it's Baudon Sansus. There's nobody in that far corner for Scotland. Rowley's done well to get across, and she's got a bit of free room to run into. Then gets the offload away. But there wasn't a lot of room for Fran McGee to work in. Brebner Holden gets it back in. Nelson, Conkle, dips the shoulder again. Foul was looking to get in for the turnover. Foul Raclo. Nelson this time goes to the air, and this ball could go anywhere, as it does, and it's taken down by Thompson. And that's worked out as fairly decent meterage gain. Eliane Clark back in, and just a little gap on the outside for Lana Skeldon, but the point that Kat Merchant made a moment ago, so apparent there. They just cannot go in ones and twos, the Scots. Now the missed pass, and it does. Akamba and Albe. This is better, though, from the visitors. Up into that midfield. Escudero not able to get in and take that one, and there's now an advantage being played to the Scots as it comes off Emma Orr. Now is there a bit of room for Lloyd to play with? Tackle is good. Brebner Holden, Lana Skeldon. Always runs like she believes she'll get through the gap. Or quick hands from Emma Orr. And now Scotland, can they make it work on the outside? Back in, having a tiptoe back in, is McGee. Well tackled by Arbe. Then the option of the run from Rachel Malcolm, but driven back by Mané Feleau, as if to say, not in my house. Helen Nelson on for Skeldon. Scotland tiring in this attack, you sense. Or they've got to try and find a way to make it work. Thompson, well thwarted upon. Rona Lloyd. Scotland just can't find the room to work, such is this French defence. Lisa Thompson being driven back by the skipper. Oh, and it's loose on the floor as Scotland try and control it. Escudero is there, but in fact the first knock-on is given against France.
France's defence was absolutely phenomenal then, because Scotland were doing some really good phases of play. They were going from one wing to the other wing. Skeldon in particular as well did about 3 carries almost in a row, so they're working hard, but France putting in some absolute huge shots.
Okay, I thought it was tactical advantage, so in territorial advantage, so plenty of advantages over. Okay.
Conversation from Rachel Malcolm with the referee, just saying that I think you'd signalled a previous advantage. I don't believe we got it. Referee saying I think tactically you did.
Always worth having those calm conversations though, and that's something that Rachel Malcolm does really, really well. Just a question into referees' minds.
And then you guys, it will be your try.
So I think there may have been an intervention there just to point out that the first knock-on might have come from Scotland, I think.
Scott, please.
Yes, there is turnover to France.
Blue stripe, okay?
Initially signalled the other way, but France now get it. As the ball did spill when Scotland took it into contact, but I thought that was Bourdon Santous's hand, just getting a little fingertip to it to pull it back, but given as a knock-on then from Scotland.
Yeah, I think the communication has just made its way down the Scottish backline to realise that this needs to be a defensive position rather than an attacking one. What a noise the 15,000 in here are treating us to. Will the French treat them to any attacking rugby from this position? They're encouraged to use it. Bourdon Santos into the tackle of the French skipper. Tayani Feleou. Bigot. Tackle from Anne Young. Escudero just had to stutter and stop. Then Arbaz, but it slipped on the floor, and Thompson was the one to get the first hack to it, and Emma Orr is giving chase, as is Marine Ménager. Ménager can't hold it, but Emma Orr can! Try for Scotland, and it sprung from nothing. The handling error from France proving to be the gift for Scotland. Thompson hacking it through, and Emma Orr getting the try.
I was just thinking we haven't said Emma Orr's name enough so far this game. We're so used to talking about her and how good she is, but France doing some good carries initially, but then it's just how quickly Scotland react to this knock-on. So there's a knock-on there, really great reactions, nudge it through, and then it's just an absolute foot race. Ménager won't want to look at that one back when she's dived on that. It's come out, and Emma Orr's done amazingly well to just keep her composure, dot that one over.
Nelson lifts it through the uprights.
And you have to say that just before half-time, that score could be so important into this game and just give them that boost that they need, and that's the foot hold on to it to get across and score. Great try for Scotland.
Well, the combination of Lisa Thompson and Emma Orr, 16th time that they're playing together in that Scottish midfield. Montserrat Emeday obviously winning a first cap in 7 years, and Marine Ménager then having to step in. That is not consistency as far as the French are concerned. Scotland with 7 points on the board then. Had a couple of visits to that French 22 without managing to secure enough ball.
7 years between caps is crazy, isn't it? We had Mia Venner last week for England, who had 5 years between her caps, but that's a big old gap.
Well, it just shows you the stranglehold that Gabby Vernier has had on that French number 12 jersey, and why not, world-class player, of course. And she will have been the first one to admit But her technique failed her in that tackle last week and is paying the price. But we certainly look forward to when Gabby Vernier can be back in a French side.
Oh yeah, she's a quality player, absolute quality, world class. And you could see when she did that tackle as well, immediately her first thoughts were, is the player okay? Went straight over to her. There wasn't a, oh, I didn't do it, or, you know, it's a handheld high. Yeah, missed, I got that one wrong.
Scotland need their line out to function in crucial moments like this. That time it works. Conkle's the dummy runner. Oh, just lifted up in midfield for Thompson, who knocks it on. And is this going to turn into an opportunity for the French? Rona Lloyd had to come in and make the hit. Oh, and it's a good counter-ruck by the Scots. Nothing coming since the knock-on in the middle. But the clock has tipped into the red. And so Lauren Jenner will bring an end to that first half. First half where France came out and started to look in control, particularly through the boot of Morgane Bourgeois. Carla Albers managing to jump under the posts for the only try that the French have scored in that first 40. But Scotland hanging in there, looking to strike a blow or two, and then perhaps fortuitously making the most of the handling error and getting a try of their own. France 13, Scotland 7 at half-time in La Rochelle.
L'ensemble des partenaires premium de la FFR vous souhaite une bonne mi-temps. Altrad, Société Générale, Renault et Adidas s'associent pour vous accueillir. Découvrez leurs annonces et on se retrouve un peu plus tard pour la seconde mi-temps. Ne vous inquiétez pas, cette mi-temps, elle va être jouée aussi. Allez les amis, on a une très bonne nouvelle de la part de nos deux équipes de France à 7 qui sont actuellement en train de jouer l'étape à Hong Kong Sevens. Nos deux équipes de France à 7 qui sont qualifiées pour les demi-finales. Et il va falloir se lever tôt les amis, parce que oui, ça mérite des applaudissements bien sûr. Et vous allez pouvoir le noter, le match des filles Australie-France qui sera à 7h37 et le match des garçons Fidji-France à 8h23, c'est à suivre sur les réseaux sociaux de France Rugby. Du bruit encore pour nos deux équipes de France à 7. Et parce que ce match est aussi une réussite grâce à eux, merci d'applaudir chaleureusement les 72 volontaires qui ont œuvré pour cette rencontre de la France face à l'Écosse. Du bruit s'il vous plaît pour eux, merci. Allez, vous savez quoi? On va échauffer un petit peu la voix. Pour ça, on a notre jeu du tu préfères. Ce jeu est très simple. On va vous inscrire à l'écran deux propositions et vous allez devoir faire le plus de bruit pour la proposition que vous préférez. On en a 3 en tout et on débute tout de suite. Alors attention. Ah oui, là c'est le débat les amis. Là c'est le débat. Est-ce qu'il y en a ici? Est-ce qu'il y en a ici qui sont présents pour le pain au chocolat ou pas? Écoutez-moi bien, j'ai vu des Toulousains, j'ai vu des Bordelais. Est-ce qu'il y a du monde pour la chocolatine ici? Attention, ne vous trompez pas. Est-ce qu'il y en a parmi vous qui aiment porter le kit? Est-ce qu'il y en a parmi vous qui préfèrent plutôt porter le béret? Voilà. Et vous savez quoi? On va se remettre un peu dans l'ambiance aussi, on va continuer de s'échauffer la voix. Et ensemble, on va y aller pour un les bleus, d'accord? Allez, attention, 3, 2, supporters, supportrices. Merci de faire un maximum de bruit pour les joueuses de l'équipe de France. Et merci d'accueillir aussi comme il se doit.
6 points the gap between the two sides at half-time. Last year's fixture at the Hive Stadium saw Scotland coming up short by 10 points. It was France 15 points to 5 on that occasion. That was, incidentally, the lowest score between the two sides since the 10-8 victory to Scotland in 2010. Another 40 minutes to go here. Lauren Jenner hands the ball off to Lisa Thompson. Lovely story, incidentally, about Lauren Jenner, who has spoken about taking the whistle once again a year after having her son Cooper, talking about how all mums are superheroes and how she wants to be a great mum, but can also be a great ref. And I'm sure we will stand by that. Great that we have so many female officials across the global game now, with plenty more coming up through the pathway as well, in what is a huge year for the women's game, from the officials down to the players as well. France leading then by 13 points to 7. Scotland stealing that score towards the end of the first half through Emma Orr. Clearance kick won't find touch. The Scots have got the sun in their eyes a little bit more this second half. Big hit coming in on Chloe Rowley. Brebna Holden. Ball into midfield, big double or almost triple hit from the French. Ferry. Early replacement on for Holly Cunningham, who, if you're just joining us, had to go off the field a minute into the match on the occasion of her second cap.
So I think that big hit on Chloe Rowley, I think, has been called for high, which it did look high, didn't it, from that initial play? So been fed in, so they'll get that penalty.
Cat Merchant, who's with us, and what do you think Brian Easton was saying to his side at half-time? Scotland girls.
I think a really good score at the end of that first half was really, really important. I think build phases, like go through phases, because they've given a couple away, a couple of small errors here and there that haven't allowed them to quite build into the game. But I think there's a lot of positives that they can take from the first half. They just need to be confident into the second. So here's the hit. They're going to look that's high. And yeah, the penalty for that one.
Skeldon in for Ferry. Adele Ferry bringing it in, and now it's Skeldon showing the ball back inside. She's such an adept footballer, Lana Skeldon. Thompson, oh, looking for the little ding through. Now Emma Orr, they're going to go for a second try, but just losing it over the line. How close was that again?
So close in there. Fingertip stuff, but a good decision from Scotland to have a go at that. It worked well before, why not try again? And we've got a real foot race here.
Emma Orr gets the ball from the immediate clearance downfield. Bourdon-Sansus operating as quick as she could on the goal line dropout. Really quick thinking from, well, Bourdon-Sansus, the brains of this French operation, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, incredible player. She can make something happen from nothing, and got himself out of a very dangerous situation where they're about to be scored against, and now suddenly they have a line out on the 10-metre.
Yeah, well, it's all her quick thinking, which has taken France up to the Scottish 10-metre line.
Okay? You must stay on the map. No, you've moved 2 metres. Okay?
Bigot told not to move. Pauline Bourdon-Sansus caught expecting a baby with their partner Law. Lovely news. Her former competitor for the France 9 shirt. Good take from Amadei. Very different sort of frame and stature to the absent Vernier. Not done too badly at all. That looked a little late, almost forwards, but Scotland not rolling away. Penalty here for France, and we saw an early position not too dissimilar from this in the first half. Opted for points, and the tee is on straight away for France to go for a similar option here at the start of the second half.
Yeah, their strategy's been pretty clear.
This way. It's over here.
So tackler done for not running away, because actually Bonner, I think it was, got her hands on that, so maybe could have gone the other way and got a holding on penalty. But there's that little dink through, good chase into that as well, and just slips out the hand as she's over the line.
Three out of three
So guys will get
for Morgan Bourgeois.
really hold them to that mark and make sure there's no movement. Okay? And then we can sit our line up.
Well, the value of decent goal kickers in the women's game has always been a key talking point, and certainly in Morgan Bourgeois, the French have got someone they can rely on. 16 points on the board, 11 of them from the boot of Bourgeois.
Yeah, not phased at all, has she? She's just been cool, calm, collected every time she's gone up to the kick and tee.
Thompson. Albers. Under a decent bit of pressure from Lloyd. Rowley. Found Rose Bernardou. Bounced off her, but was eventually brought to ground. Bigot in position to try and get a turnover, but Brebner Holden, and then it through Emma Orr and a little wider through Rowley, finding Rona Lloyd. There for Young. It's good from Anne Young. Thompson, big miss pass. Conkle knew she was going to be met, or was it Malcolm? Just had to hold it. Now they might have some room here. McGee. Arbe all over her. Brebner Holden. Conkle. Good offload away for Malcolm. Or in at first receiver. Oh, and that's a bit of offloading game from the Scots. It's largely been of a French persuasion so far this afternoon in the Stade Marcel des Flandres. It was a good option not to chuck it, and then it's a really lovely over-the-head option. And now Rona Lloyd putting pressure in that French 22 and following up with the tackle as well. Scotland arriving. France have secure ball, but encouraged to use. What about the over-the-head chuck a moment ago?
Yeah.
Bourdon Sansus. Eyes up the options to the left. Certainly taken their time since the use it call. Arbez nudges it away, but Scotland will have the line out, and the assistant referee takes position just outside that 22.
Yeah, not a bad result there for Scotland for their efforts. The kick in behind, and then it's really good pressure from Lloyd to get the chase, get the tackle in as well, and force France to kick back out.
Well, there's the battle of the eights. Look at them, pretty tied up. Feliu with a few more carries, but Conkle making the meters with a few less. It's another failing Scottish line out though, and set pieces in that area is proving to be a real work on for them, given the field position that they've waved goodbye to through a faltering line out. French competing and winning it well. Bourdon Sansus sends it back for Arbez. A little bit more time to send that upfield. Rona Lloyd into the sunshine. So difficult to take. And it's another handling error from the Scots.
Yeah, she'll be really disappointed with that. She's a quality player and she's so dangerous with ball in hand as well. So I think she was probably thinking about which direction she was going to run or whether she was going to pass it just before she got it secured in her hands.
So difficult into that direct sunshine, isn't it? You know the value of taking a ball on the full, but you also know the increased error rate if you're just going to lose it entirely.
Yeah, but they, golden rules, never let it bounce. And so very even there, obviously 8-all for the handling errors, so neither team will be too happy with that.
Would rather keep it in the single figures where possible. It's the French bench. Get set to make an impact. All of the French players on the right-hand side of this scrum. Nobody down the blind side. Bourdon-Sansus, Arbez. There is an advantage being played. Oh, that's worked really nicely. Amadei stepping in. Bourdon-Sansus send it up for Bigot. Bigot eyeing up the offload, loses it forwards, but that's not sufficient attack opportunity from the penalty at the scrum.
Yeah, they knew they were playing with that advantage anyway, so they were happy they could throw it around and not worry too much about it. But yeah, the set piece today, France have been very dominant in that scrum, and then with Scotland losing a couple of lineouts as well, they're just not able to keep enough possession. So here's that scrum. They got done earlier for pushing too early, but deemed that they were pushing just right there. And look at all those lines and players that they have off of each run.
Brosseau got the last bit of communication in to Bigot, and it is foul Rattler who brings it down. Referee happy that the sack was on the immediate player in possession, so Bourdon-Sansus, Amadei came in left and swerved off to the right, found the tackle of Helen Nelson, but Amadei getting back to her feet, somehow still in possession. Brosseau, Feleau stretching, reaching for the line. Tackle from Young was good, but now another bust towards the line. But have Scotland managed to hold them up? It looks like they have. It's a brilliant bit of defence.
Yeah, great scramble defence back there was important as well. So key thing now is they get to kick back. So there were some great lines of running into there. But yeah, that pick back up, very much seen in sevens a lot. But here's it over the line, but they just managed to get underneath her, turn her up, so they could cut her and held up that try.
Okay, stay behind.
It's really good work from Montserrat Amadei to recognise that within that pile of bodies she wasn't held. Back to her feet and away she goes. Scotland's clearance. Oh, now do we have a drop goal being eyed up here by Bourdon-Sansus? Oh, it's sensational from the little French 9. How about that? We saw it so many times when the goal line dropout was first introduced. And Pauline Bourdon-Sansus has just pulled another trick out of an already brilliant repertoire.
Look at that, just so class. We said her decision making earlier was and her quick thinking was fantastic for France and really key, but that is truly an absolutely brilliant bit of skill in there. She really is one of the best 9s in the world.
Sensational.
Time's on.
Oh, Scotland have gone for a cute one here. It's not quite worked out.
I have it knocked on the ground. I have it knocked on the ground.
Referee says Amadei lost control of it. She is appealing. God. What a moment from Bourdon-Sansus. I'm still
That's just so good.
Still regathering myself after that. Brilliant.
Yeah, just really good decision to go for it. Important in the scoreline as well, building back up ahead, and then the execution of it as well. Just it had it all.
It is those aspects of the game, those aspects of talent that would exist within this French team that make them at times unplayable. It's their ability to keep those qualities for 80 minutes that has just been their undoing in certain big test matches over the past 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely.
Okay. Both players dropped your bind, okay? I need you to stay
Scotland now with a 12-point gap to overhaul.
Thanks, Amelia.
It's a nicely positioned scrum, this, as far as a Scottish attack is concerned. Nelson, Thompson, Orr and McGee lurk to the left, and it will come to Nelson. Oh, it's a good run from Orr, managing to hold that into the tackle with excellent skill. Conkle, Brebner Holden, Thompson gave it the big wind-up, sold a couple, bought a metre or two. Clark. Another big double hit from the French. Rowley, Ferry, somehow kept that alive. Or McGee popping up on that right side and now finding a little way through. And this is Scotland into the French 22. Need to get the support there to avoid being turned over. And this time they do. Adele Ferry once more. Last couple of interventions from the replacement second row have been strong. Bigot gets in and disrupts, and that's going to be a penalty to Scotland. And you wonder, given the area of the field, if it could be a bit more.
Yes, there was a few possibly cynical plays there from France, just rolling on the wrong side as well, just looking to slow up Scotland's ball. I think they know exactly what they're doing.
Well, Scotland are going to take a leaf out of the French book here and try and cancel out that last penalty. Just wonder whether Rachel Malcolm might have a word with the referee. Certainly been diligent at doing so over the course of the match so far, but here's another chance to see that wonderful Maisie.
McGee, like, she really doesn't need much room at all. She just sees a slight gap, goes through. Really good footwork as well. And aside from wanting to close the gap in here, lineouts haven't necessarily functioned as they'd want. Scrums have been a bit under pressure, so logical choice here, take the 3.
Helen Nelson steered the ship magnificently last week. 9 points against Wales. Slots another 3 against France. 9-point game.
Just keeping in that game, keeping ticking away, important because we've seen they can get those runaway tries, and they do look exciting when they have their line breaks.
Kyla Arbez, incidentally, her and Helen Nelson are the ones with the highest kick rate across the competition. Oh, and Arbez, would I hope she didn't put quite as many metres on that as she did.
Yeah, you know, both sides have had one of those. One, Scotland's kicking one earlier in the first half, kicking it completely dead. That one going straight out. And it's just those little errors that both sides will need to get rid of when the game is so close. They don't want those giving the opposition possession.
Clock ticking along to the sort of time where we will start to see the changes introduced, and what impact will we see from both of those benches, both going for a 6-2 split. No Emmeline Gros currently in this French outfit. She's being kept on the bench by Léa Champon, who is will be wearing 21 for the French today. Other absentees, likes of Chloé Jacquet, unfortunately out with an ACL injury, so Jacquet won't be any part of France's World Cup plans. Asia Kalfaoui, of course, another superb tight-haired. Well, she is making her return playing for Bordeaux this weekend, so they may be hoping that in a couple of weeks' time, when the French are hosting the Welsh in Brive, that Kalfaoui might be in the reckoning. Nasira Condé out with concussion. Anaël Da'é, another big name who's been coming back from injury. Not quite playing yet, but not too far away. Oh, it's another free kick that goes the way of Scotland for a French early engagement. Malcolm. Brebner Holden, or quick hands on to McGee. Was close, French clutches were very nearly there. Malcolm just looks to try and ride the first tackle and set a clean platform. Nelson just gets that in behind Emma D, who isn't able to get hold of it first time. Follow-up tackle. Arbez sends it downfield. Nobody is in position for Scotland, but McGee comes across. Oh, and has that gone backwards, or is it a knock-on? Referee says play on, but the crowd certainly think differently.
Yeah.
And the intervention from our TMO, Quintin Immelman, will back up our referee to say it is going to have to be the stoppage for the knock-on. And that, in that situation, is a hugely frustrating error from Scotland.
Yeah, so it was a horrible bounce for McGee, who was running to try and get back to it. But yeah, those fingertips just slightly, it's gone forward. Very difficult to hit a hand and not go forward from that position that she was covering across from. But a gift for France with that long kick, and now they get to have the scrum in a really good position territory-wise for them, and we know just how strong their scrum is as well.
Well, Scotland have certainly been putting in the hits defensively. They're going to have to here. This French scrum has Arbez and Bourgeois directly behind the number 8, Feleau. And they're all going to break to this right-hand side. Feleau gives it away. Amédi look to try and play it back inside, but throws it forwards in the process. France will have to come another time. Now we're going to see some changes onto the field. Axel Berthumeur replacing Charlotte Escudero. It's a 19th cap for the 27-year-old Berthumeur.
So here's a good line of running initially. Gets in behind, but then just in the attempt to try and get that offload, which they do love doing. And again, it's the one-hand ones that are always slightly more high risk, so it goes loose and has come forwards.
It's not a shoelace this time, and I appreciate we want to play with tempo. And I'll allow you to do that as much as possible. Okay, thank you. Go, Quintin.
Well, Mané, Feleau, keen to tell the referee to keep the game going, keep the tempo high. That's how they believe they will be successful. Lauren Jeddah pointing out that there is a legitimate player down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we just need to confirm that the overleaning is your second time, okay? So the next one will be a penalty, okay? It won't be a free kick. So I've been free kicking your prop for overleaning, pre-engage. Okay, the next one it will be a penalty and not a short arm. Does that make sense?
So warning.
It's not your ball.
We've also got Clara Joya, who has
are we on the mark here, guys?
come onto the field as well.
Okay, I will stand here.
And Ambre Moyembe.
Offsides on our first carrier, so like off our 9 carrier.
Okay, like
just feel like they've left well before that.
So 2 new props in the front row, but the referee warning them that if they lean over again and concede what would be an early engagement free kick, well, after 2 free kicks next time it'll be a penalty. I suspect that Moyembe and Clara Joya will be controlling themselves a little differently. Scotland will expect France all over them here.
Okay, no problem.
Anne Young on the near side, 4th start. Loughborough Lightning player, former Hillhead Jordan Hill. Well, they've got the right set at the front. Brebner Holden gets it away. Thompson, oh, nearly managed to squeeze out of the tackle, but Arbez held on. Conkle nearly had the ball ripped from Amédée. Now the pressure on Nelson with the clearance. It's a very decent clearance from the Scottish fly half.
Yeah, good to just get some distance, absorb some of the positional pressure and keep pushing France back in this still, you know, tight enough game.
So now Scotland eyeing up the changes, of course, forced into an earlier one with Holly Cunningham as France now bring on Lina Queiroz, one of their two backs replacements, which will see Carla Arbez conclude her afternoon. And down below us for Scotland, Leah Bartlett waited to come on, as is Alex Stewart. I think it might be at the next stoppage at this rate, so on we go. Oh. And here come.
Okay. Sorry, time off, guys. Guys, let me confirm this. It is a France ball. We've confirmed it by the TMO. Okay, guys, it is your ball. We've confirmed that.
Well, a bit of confusion over whose line out it is.
France ball. No. Not playing quick.
Gotta love that from Bourdon Sansus, like running in straight away. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to take this quickly.
Okay.
Line out set, won't be able to do that, but gotta love the. So that's the second time that France have actually had a turnover in their favour.
Well, change is made then. Anne Young leaves the field. Jade Conkle as well.
Time's on.
Two players who've got through such a large amount of work. It's at the back of this maul with Bigot as the French shear away, and Bourdon Sansus looking to try and go herself. Keeps the ball alive, feeds Tayani Felehu, who will get in and score! It's taken until the hour mark for France to get their second try, but Tayani Felehu sends them on their way, and the gap starts to open up in La Rochelle.
Yeah, France looking really strong there. That was a good score as well, so a really controlled line out. Bourdon Sansus just completely takes her time, and it's that offload off the floor, and then great friend from Felehu to then get her finish as well, where you can just see working together as a team, and it's just the smartness, that pick, that footwork. But look at this, hits the ground. That could have been a ruck. Instead, keeps it alive. Good handoff, good strength as well on the outside, but a good, strong score there for France.
Once again, the quick thinking and execution from Pauline Bourdon Sansus. And this the trickiest effort for Morgane Bourgeois. She's drilled that low. She's drilled it beautifully. Just a couple of seconds left on the shot clock. She had to get on with it, and France get themselves up to 26 now, and they're beginning to cook in the La Rochelle sunshine.
Yeah, she's got her kicking boots on today, hasn't she? She just can't miss. Getting some great ones, and yeah, the replay, they keep showing this, and they can show it all day. I won't get bored. Like that offload off the ground, such a beautiful offload.
France 26, Scotland 10 now. Bourdon Sansus. Good take from Thompson. Momentarily. Has a second bite at it. Gets the clearance in. Bourgeois follows it up. Bourdon Sansus saw in the gap, nearly opening up. Lana Skeldon knew she had to stay in the fight, but it's Bigot. Scotland need to be wary of the floodgates opening here. Ambre Moyembe. France find themselves back in a good attacking position. Abe, little hitch kick. Oh, offload off the right hand. Okamba into the corner. It is stunning from the French. The offloads are out in force, and the tricolores are waving once again. Try number 3, and Seraphine Okamba, the scorer.
You said this before about France. They have such flair. They've got great finishing. You sometimes don't see it for a full 80, but I tell you what, we are seeing it in these last few minutes here, because this is what France are good at. It's that offloading game, that one-hand one out the back, the strong runners on the outside. It's keeping that ball alive, and Scotland just aren't going to be able to defend that. They have defended pretty bravely throughout. We've seen them hold up tries. We've seen them work round and hard, but yeah, it's almost impossible to stop France when they play like this.
Kelly Abe with that offload, absolute filth. Her last cap was against Scotland a year ago this weekend when she made her second of 2 international appearances after featuring against Ireland the week before, and Morgane Bourgeois has blotted her copybook.
I think that was...
She had a very good afternoon, but yeah, just misses one.
Commentator's curse. It's because I said she couldn't miss. I'll show you.
Katie Mattinson on for Scotland, and it's a game that is quickly turning into damage limitation. Pauline Baudon-Sansus has finished her afternoon, and she may well salute the cameras. She has earned the right. Brilliance all over the park. Thompson. Oh, and it's not forwards from the restart. France will try and keep this alive. We don't have the job of picking the Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match this afternoon, but I suspect it'll be a short list of one for our French TV colleagues. Their tails are up now. Moyembe steamrolling through Rachel McLachlan. Joyeux rampaging away up to the 10-metre line. Alexandre Chambon just wanted to show that there were Scottish players in the way. Intelligent from the replacement. Oh, crossfield kick effort from Lena Kewa. It's not quite going to stay in, but it was lovely idea as France go in search of the 4th try and the bonus point from this fixture.
Offside on the 5 here or offside here?
So 2 penalties to choose from which location they want to have it from.
There's one here, or there's one over on the 5? This one here? Okay. 14. 14.
And you have to wonder what they do in this position now when they're got such a good lead. Now they're going to go for corner. Not looking to build on scores now, going for the jugular, going for the kill.
Okay, bring them on. Who are they? Okay. Time's off. 2. 4. Number 2. Number 4.
Changes being made. Manon Bigot. She's had a good game.
Okay, thank you.
Going to be replaced by Elisa Rifonneau. And we also have Kira Zago coming onto the field, replacing the skipper, Manae Felea. Catch and drive. French know what to do, but they get the offload away quickly, and they're looking to keep the ball alive inside that 22. Alexandre Chambon so close to the line to have another chance. They've got numbers on the left where there are absolutely no Scottish players. Oh, Moyembe didn't read the script. Had the opportunity to get that away, but here comes Amedi. Still driving for the line. Ménager will be denied. Long pass this time. Bourgeois dives over. 4th try, bonus point, wrapped up in La Rochelle.
Absolutely inevitable scoring that one. They had 3 numbers on the left if they wanted to use them. They had numbers through the middle as well, and then out wide on the right. There just doesn't seem to be enough Scotland players on the pitch to defend when France are playing like this. They've got options everywhere. They get themselves a tiny bit flat, but they still manage to bounce out of it and manage to get this ball out to the right. Just a simple dummy and go over the line.
Bonus point secured. Two points to take Morgane Bourgeois' total for the afternoon up to 20. 15 from the boot with the try. It's a great return.
Yeah, 20 points as a solo effort in a 38-10 game. That's some going.
Le score est de 38 pour la France à 10 pour l'Écosse.
Ellis Martin onto the field. Becky Boyd making her Scotland debut. The benches being emptied as this game continues. Lana Skeldon, one of those to make way. France in possession again, but Scotland might have just wrestled that one away. Eliane Clark being driven on by her skipper. That's some good meters. Mattinson. Menage in with the tackle. Nobody there at scrum half to begin with, but Mattinson gets there. Nelson, big one. Looking for the connectivity to Evie Wills, who is onto the field. Second consecutive game wearing 23, but France have got in and got it back again. Chambon. Oh, door just opened for McGee. McGee still there again. Lovely balance runner. Mattinson got the quick hand clap from Leah Bartlett. Martin is looking inside for the support runner. No one quite there. Nelson wants to drill it into the corner, get it over the head. Oh, it's going to run and run and run, and very, very nicely kept in field, but certainly under pressure. And is that going to find touch? No, it's not. And it's open season for anybody now to just run it in. France got to find that defensive structure again. Mattinson in for Boyd. Boyd with the carry. Flicked on for Nelson. Clark. Scotland given a penalty advantage here. Nelson again. Oh, that was a lovely little bit of running. Scotland still going through Alex Stewart. Super footwork from the youngster, and then it's McLachlan. Scotland just getting a little overexcited and all on top of it here as they try and find a way forwards. Bartlett. Rachel Malcolm. Same way. The French saw that one coming. In theory, they're still under this advantage. Oh, and they're still finding a way to go forwards. Whether they're going round them or going underneath them. Thompson looked to put it into the corner. Oh, and just as the referee had said, the advantage is over as well.
Yeah, it always tends to happen with that after advantage over. It's either a knock-on or some kind of mistake into there, but I think there's a pause for an injury here.
Yeah, time is off.
It's Rachel Malcolm.
Quentin, do we have anything in this tackle?
So looking to see if there's anything high, but I think that's not high there.
There's the skipper who's just getting the attention.
Okay, bring them on, guys. Bring them on.
28-point advantage. I mean, the damage really done in that second half. In this second half, I should say. 3 tries in 7 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say France had an amazing 10 minutes, but there's actually 7 minutes, as you pointed out there. But when France just decide they're going to show up and attack, they are such a dangerous outfit. They really do link so well together.
Have an option. The ball has gone dead in goal, so it's either a 22 or a scrum. Okay? 22 or a scrum. 22. Okay. Girls, let me explain this. It's dead in goal, so they've opted for a 22, okay? Sorry. It's dead in goal, so they can have an option of a... No. It's dead in goal, so they have an option of a 22 or a scrum, and they've taken the 22 option.
They have.
Okay, yes, yeah. Girls, time was off.
So communication from the referee coming in since the ball went dead, confirming that they had two options.
22.
One of which is the 22 dropout, which France are choosing here. Oh, they've looked to go for the little sneaky one at the front. Moyembe.
Maul! It's a maul! It's a maul!
Ball loose on the floor.
Tackle.
Foul Rafa. Play it on for Bertumia. Midfield chip. Oh, Rowley couldn't get hands to it. Arbey has knocked it on. Arbey might appeal, but I think the tackle timing was probably just about right.
Yeah, there's a bit of a tussle as they were going for the ball, but I think timing was fine in the initial play there.
Well, I can see that the French TV colleagues have opted to award the Guinness Six Nations Player of the Match to the Scottish captain Mane Fellea, and well, here are just a few of the interventions of the French skipper, setting the platform and certainly stealing an awful lot of line out from the Scots. So, while we might have felt that Pauline Mordaunt-Sansus was having her usual interventions in the game, our colleagues have suggested that it's Fellea that should get the gong, deserving as well, of course. Incidentally, that drop goal from Pauline Mordaunt-Sansus, just the 8th in Women's Six Nations history.
The ball's come out the same tunnel. Reset.
It's actually the first drop goal in 11 years in the competition, since a certain Sandrine Agricole in 2014.
Okay, the ball's come out the same tunnel. We reset. Okay. So
Atkinson retrieves the ball. Thompson. Good take above her head from Rowley, looking for the switch back inside from McGee. Just got around Amadei. Oh, and it's another turnover. Kelly Arbey has really grown into this game. Amadei looking for it quickly. Kewa clears it in.
I mean, you can see from the stats, 8 turnovers France have won compared to Scotland's 1. So that's just been an area of this game where France have been totally dominant in, and it's been very costly for Scotland.
what's the issue, guys?
For another pause here. France, who will be at home to Wales in round 3. That match taking place in Brive in a couple of weeks. The Scots, who will welcome the visit of Italy.
But if it's their ball and they want to play quickly, it's allowed that, okay? But if there are genuine injuries, turn on.
Rifano, formerly of Ealing Trailfinders, now at Grenoble. Oh, it's not getting to ground on the French side, so the Scots are going to have the scrum.
Yeah, they can take a defensive win there, because they're going to take some things from this second half and really look to build as they face Italy in 2 weeks' time. They're going to want to make sure they're spot on.
Penalty Scotland. Well, we knew that the early engage free kicks were going to be escalated to a penalty. A warning came a little earlier. And referee Lauren Jenner sticking to her word.
Time off, sub. Replacement. Okay, time on.
One more change for Scotland, where we saw Molly Pullman coming on earlier. This might have been the period of the game where she more likely expected a replacement opportunity, but she gave a good account of herself earlier on when Ali-Ann Clark had to go off for an HIA. So comes on now for the last few minutes of the match.
Yeah, new advantage.
Scotland getting them all going and winning themselves an advantage. Mattinson, Nelson looking cross-field for Rona Lloyd. Bourgeois gets hold of it. The fans unaware that penalty advantage had been called, thinking that that one-on-one from Morgane Bourgeois was going to be worth the ticket price alone.
17. Okay, thank you.
Into the 22. Can Scotland get one more on the board? Just the first half try from Emma Orr, converted to go along with the second half penalty from Helen Nelson. It's Malcolm who brings it down, and Scotland want to come into that short side. Pullman right on script, they drive forwards, Boyd in possession that time, and now another strike. It's good from Scotland. Now at the back, Nelson. Front three-quarter line was up in the faces of them, and now it's been knocked forwards. France with turnover possession here. Twist and turn through the first tackle. Berthoumieux helping give them a platform. Scotland putting the tackles in from the knock-on advantage. But now, a little bit more width. And booted away from Kewa. McGee. Oh, gets around another. McGee looked to try and straighten. But Val Ruckler was right there. Mattinson, little look left. Option right. Martin, again. Just managing to get a turn into the tackle and look inside. No one quite there. Light fumble of the ball.
Yeah, penalty advantage.
Penalty advantage now with Scotland. Martin. Thompson looking to just try and find a way around Foul and Arbe. Scotland still with disadvantage. Back in for Malcolm. And the offload finds Becky Boyd, who is chopped in half. Clock ticking into the red. This will be, or these will be the last few moments of the match, depending on what Scotland choose to do from this penalty.
But you do have time, you can do the line-up if you want.
What's the decision to be? Nelson consults with Malcolm.
Girls, are we playing?
Doesn't seem to be a decision anytime soon, but the French certainly with the time to congratulate themselves. It is going to be a ball into the corner from Nelson. La Marseillaise rings around Stade Marcel des Flandres. It has been a good job done by this French side. They wait to fully get the celebrations underway. Scotland wait for Ellis Martin to get this in.
Oh!
Catch and drive will be the order of the day. Martin gets in and gets her hands on it. The French will enjoy trying to drive them towards that touchline, but Scotland are still going forwards to try and drive, to try and get a second half try for Ellis Martin, and Scotland will do so. to put the gentlest little sheen on the result with a second try of the match. Martin getting the score. And Helen Nelson will have the opportunity to add 2 points before we wrap things up.
Try's good. Thanks, Quentin. Cool work, Kat.
Super work from the replacement. Former Edinburgh University and Darlington Moden Park Sharks. Nelson. Oh, it's very nicely struck. Oh, denied by the right hand upright. And perhaps that a signal of Scotland's afternoon. Well, the French, having come out at half-time with just a 6-point advantage, certainly found their power and their mettle after the hour mark. 3 tries in 7 minutes. Feleau, Okamba, Bourgeois, and a personal tally of 20 points for Morgane Bourgeois. They have found their form in this year's Guinness Women's Six Nations, and they've done it at home again to Scotland in La Rochelle. It finishes France 38, Scotland 15. Well, Scotland certainly would have come here buoyed by the confidence of that result against Wales. Certainly a much more settled side, but in front of a crowd of 15,000 offering you this sort of support, well, how could France not wish to turn it on? And turn it on they did in that second half. Built themselves a 13-0 advantage in that first half before conceding the Emerald score, which was through an error in their own 22. And what about the drop goal as well from Pauline Baudon-Sansus? Simply excellent performance from the French 9 and, of course, from the skipper, earning the France TV nod for the Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match.
Congratulations on an impressive win and also on Player of the Match. How did it feel to be out there in La Rochelle today?
I don't even have words for the atmosphere that we had today. I'm really grateful. La Rochelle, the public was just great. I felt like we had a 16th player on the team today, so I'm just really grateful. The atmosphere was just incredible.
And you scored 3 tries in a period of 7 minutes. What was the difference in mindset for that just short period of play in that game?
We knew we had to build on the match in the first half. We knew that with the mental battle, we were quite a bit there, and that we needed to do the same in the second half to like really break it. So I think that's what we did. And
then you face Wales. What are you going to do differently, or what are you expecting against Wales?
We're expecting a really tough game. It's going to be our second game at home, so I think the girls are just, they're really excited to play at home again. We love playing in France, and Wales have been really going up in the last few years, so we can't wait for this game.
Amazing, congratulations, go and enjoy your night.
Well, thank you to Kat Merchant. Chance to hear from our Guinness Women's Six Nations Player of the Match. Certainly got through the work, 7 carries, 41 metres, 13 tackles. Of course, sister Tayani Feleau, 96 metres for the French number 8. That's not bad either. So the Feleau family contributing well. And Marine Ménager having some of the words in the group alongside Baudon-Sansus. The French 2 wins from 2 in the championship for 2025. And winning momentum, not just in this championship, but in this year of all years, so important, as we know, when it will come down to the start of a certain global competition in August. As we know, over 275,000 tickets already sold for Women's Rugby World Cup 2025. 150,000 were sold in New Zealand. And look at these scenes. The adoring French public giving back to their side, who delivered so well for them in this fixture. Under pressure, missing key players, finding their rhythm, and ultimately blowing Scotland away in that second half. So we'll get some reaction for you in just a moment. I can just see down below us that Scottish skipper Rachel Malcolm is on her way through the crowds to speak to our reporter Kat Merchant. All right, let's head down then and get that reaction from Rachel Malcolm, who's with Kat.
Okay. Rachel, commiserations there. Commiserations there on a tough loss. How did it looked tough out there. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was really tough. I think, at half-time we had a real energy about us, but I think, that kind of 20 minutes, 15 minutes after half-time, they really turned it up a notch and we didn't really react. And I think we showed today that we can compete against the best, but we also showed that if we don't concentrate and keep our intensity at 100% for the whole 85 minutes, teams will punish us, and that's exactly what they did. But I'm super proud of the effort, to keep in it, to keep the heart, and to go and score a try right at the death. That shows what this team's all about.
Absolutely, and then you're looking forwards to playing Italy in 2 weeks' time. How do you rebuild for that game?
I think we have a big rest after that. I think bodies are pretty beaten up, but I think, we can take a huge amount of confidence from what we've created. There's definitely areas of our game that we can look at from today. I don't think we were at 100% in terms of accuracy, but in terms of heart, character, the bits you can coach, we were at 100%. But I think, there's definitely bits we can fix, which is really promising. I'm really excited to get back to the Hive because I think, that's just got us hungrier for what we can go and achieve in this tournament.
Absolutely. Well, commiserations, but well done on your performance today.
Well, there's never any doubt about the heart and character that we see from Scotland, not least embodied by their captain, Rachel Malcolm. Well, let's just have a look then as things stand as our round 2 weekend gets going. France moved to the top of the table ahead of Wales hosting England this afternoon. And of course, we know that it is Italy, Ireland in Parma to come tomorrow. France then 2 from 2. Scotland the chance to go back to Edinburgh to Hive Stadium next week as they host Italy. France taking all 5 points from this fixture. They've beaten Scotland in La Rochelle by 38 points to 15. From all of us here, a very good afternoon.